What up, everyone? So, moving along with August, we got Loot Crate here. Let's take a look at this box and see what we got. Now, last month's box, the box of July for Loot Crate, personally I thought it was the best one yet. So, we'll see what this one has and we'll see if it can compare. So first, we didn't get a lot of items in this. I think we only got 4. And no t-shirt, which is fine. I never mind when boxes don't put a t-shirt in. I think it's totally fine to skip a t-shirt here and there because we have so many of them. Or I do, at least. I have like 50 shirts from boxes that I've never worn before because there's just so many of them. So I'm totally fine if a box ever wants to skip a shirt for a month. So it doesn't bother me at all. But what we did get is we got an apron. So this is, hold on, I don't want to take it out of the nice wrapping, so I will show you the picture of it because the picture is much nicer than what I would be showing. So this is an apron, and this is from Breaking Bad. This is the Los Pollos Hermanos. So here's a picture of it. Ta-da! So yeah, little cooking apron, and it's the one of the restaurants from Breaking Bad. So I personally have never checked out Breaking Bad. I know, shame on me. I heard it's a fantastic show, but I knew what this is from though, so I got the reference of it. But thoughts on this, honestly, there's nothing wrong with that. I like it when boxes do stuff out of the ordinary and try things that have never been done before, so I appreciate that. I appreciate the thought and the variety. But honestly, like an apron, I don't think I've ever seen anyone use an apron ever in my entire life. I know what they're for, like people can use them when they're barbecuing or when they're cooking, but I just don't think I've ever seen anyone actually use an apron. So I gotta say, not super useful. I don't think a lot of people would like it because one, pretty much no one uses an apron, and 2, you'd have to get the specific reference from the show, which I'm sure lots of people do. It's a very popular show, so I'm sure people got the reference, but it's an apron. So I'm still happy to not see a t-shirt in a month, but when it's something that's I'm probably not going to use, I don't think most people are either, it's like, well, I still appreciate that they're thinking outside the box and trying new things, but it doesn't always land, and that's perfectly okay. It happens. No big deal. Apron. Next, we got a big item. This one took up most of the box. So this is a coffee mug. This is, you got one of 2 characters. It was either Venom or Carnage, which I say good choices. 2 awesome characters that I really like. I like both of those characters. So I got Carnage, and it's actually like, it's not a normal mug, so it's not just like your standard cylindrical mug with a picture on it. This is actually sculpted, so it's actually sculpted to his face, and there is like texture on there. You can see the bumps and ridges on there for that, so it actually has some pretty nice detail. So coffee mugs are something that everyone can use, whether you drink coffee or not. It's still useful. And it is cool, again, like something a little bit out of the ordinary, because it's not your standard coffee mug. It's not just with a picture printed on there. It actually has a specific sculpt. And you got one of 2 like really awesome characters. I think those are 2 of the coolest villains from Spider-Man, so I really like both of them. But as far as quality, it's not like superb. It is a coffee mug, so the sculpt on them couldn't be that great. Like, there's only so much they can do when mass-producing mugs like this. But as far as like mug quality, it is actually a pretty nice sculpt. So there is like ridges on the face and things like that. So it's still really cool. I don't think it's like super recognizable. Like, I figured it was Carnage, but I wasn't totally sure, so I kind of had to look because it is just the face. So I still think it's a cool item, but it's not like super amazing in how it looks. So I still think it's a good choice, though. I like the mug, and I like that it's a little bit different. So there's that. Then the next item, we got a Loot Crate exclusive. Now this is a wooden figure. So this is just a wooden figure of Joker. Now I don't know if this is a partnership they have with this company or this is something they're going to produce themselves. This just says DC Collectibles, so I'm not sure exactly the story behind it, but it is exclusive, so that's cool. And again, the quality is decent. It's nice to see like wood products because, like I've stated in previous videos, it's just not something you see that often. There's not that many things these days that are, as far as collectibles are concerned, that are ever made of wood. So it's nice to see something a little bit different. I'm sure most people didn't get too excited for it because it's not from a company they know or anything, but it's still nice. It has a head that you can trade out, and the paint job is good. Like, if you look at it, the paint job is good, not like a Funko Pop where it's all over the place. It's actually decent quality. So yeah, you got Joker, and on the back they have Batman and Superman, And this is just an interesting take on the character. It seems like every time there's a new company that comes up, they recreate all the same superheroes, but they just make a little bit of a different body style, and this is their interpretation of it. So that's cool. Something a little bit new and different. I like it. That works for me. Then the last item. This is a collectible pin. So this is a Hydra pin from EFX Collectibles. So they actually specialize in making like collectibles and replicas is what I should say. It's more of a replica. So I was looking at it, and the quality, I've seen pins just like this of like much nicer detail and quality. So I thought that was a bit odd. And then I read up on the inside because I opened it up, and they were saying that they actually have, well, first of all, they're certified to do this, so this isn't like a knockoff. And they actually had the design model from the movie. So it describes in the little description here how they had like pictures and designs from the movie. So this is replicated the exact pins that the movie people wore. So that's why it's more of a replica than just a collectible, which is really cool that they actually take the time and detail to make it look like it did in the movie. It's not just an interpretation of it. It looks exactly like the people wore in the movie. So I think that's very cool. I've always liked the Hydra symbol. I think it just looks badass. The skull with the octopus tentacles. It's a really cool looking like emblem. So pins though, like I don't think I'd ever wear a pin. So I'm going to try and maybe turn this into a magnet or something like that. But we'll see. But it's a cool symbol. But again, same thing with like the apron. It's not really usable. It's definitely collectible because it's a specialty thing. So kind of up to you what you want to do with it. But either way, it still looks very nice. So, that was actually all the items in the box. That's all we got, 4 items. So, the mug took up most of the space, and the other ones just kind of fit in there. So, let's go back through this stuff, let's talk about some value, and let's give this box a rating. So, first, we got our apron. So, aprons are pretty cheap. They can be expensive if you're getting it by like a specific company, but they're also very cheap. Much like t-shirts, they cost practically nothing to make. Probably even less than a t-shirt, because these, unlike t-shirts, you don't have to make them in sizes. They don't have to be a specific type. You don't have to make men's and women's. You don't have to make different sizes because it's not surrounding you. It's just literally a piece of cloth on the front of you. So it's one size fits all, which makes it easier to print on. And it's just a solid piece of cloth, and then you print right over it, much like you would a t-shirt. So it's much easier to make these, and therefore it makes these cheaper. You can find aprons similar to this with Marvel, DC, any character you can think of online for like $8, and then a few dollars for shipping. So a value on this is going to be about $8 to $10, and that's just pretty standard. Because like I said, you can find ones better than this, like with cooler pictures on it, that are branded for like pennies on the dollar. They're just not hard to make, and they're not hard to find. So this is only going to get an $8 to $10 value. Next, the mug. So mugs in general, like just a standard mug with a printed on picture, a lot of them, they're at least a few dollars, but when you get branded ones, I see them selling in stores all the time for like $10 to $12, like at minimum, for like a nice Marvel one or a DC one. You see them in Target and various stores for around that price, give or take. Now, for this one, this is a specialty mug because normally, like printed t-shirts, when you buy the blank mug, you just got to pay for the price to print a picture. This is not the case. This is specifically sculpted to be this character, and the same with Venom. It has a different sculpt to it, so when they make this sculpt, it can only be this character, which brings up the value. Not a ton, but it does bring it up. So this value is going to be about $12 to $15. If I saw this in a store, depending on where it was, if it was in somewhere like Target or something like that that had mugs, it'd probably be around $15. If you went to a collectible store, like a comic shop, this would probably be like $20. But I'm not going to base it off that. You can find them online pretty easily for right around $15. And now that it's been in the box, you can probably find a ton of them online for like $5 if you wanted to, because everyone's got it and everyone's reselling it. But a standard amount, regardless of people reselling it, would probably be around $15. So I'm going to put a $12 to $15 value on this mug because it's very nice quality and it has a specific sculpt too, which is fun and interesting. I like that. Then, where'd he go? Our Joker figure. So I'm just kind of basing this off of what figures would cost. It kind of depends on the company and the collectability of it. It is branded, so it's from DC, but to just get something made of wood like this and to get it painted probably wouldn't cost too much. So in the stores, this would probably go for around $10. And I looked online, and they're selling for around that much, around 10 bucks. So I'm going to put like an $8 to $10 value, and I really couldn't see it going for much more than that, just based on its size, based on the quality, and based on this not being like a collectible thing as of now. It's new to the collectible industry, so around 10 bucks, give or take a few dollars on that. Then, keep losing stuff. The pin. Where'd it go? Just fucking had it. Hold up. Back in the box. The pin from EFX Collectibles. Now, if this was just a collectible of a pin that was made, this would only be a few bucks, like 10 bucks at the most or something like that. But because this is a replica, that actually brings up the value. Because like I said, they actually had licensing, they actually had the designs from the movie, so you know it's an authentic replica, and this looks exactly like it did in the movie. On top of the fact that it looks cool and it's collectible. So this pin from EFX is $20. Like, that's how much it would cost to buy it from EFX. That's how much they charge. Now, much like everything else in the box, because everyone got this and thousands of people get Loot Crate, there's tons of people reselling it online. So I'm going to put a $20 value on this because that's the original price of the pin and that's what it costs from EFX. But just know, much like pretty much everything here, you could find people selling this on eBay that had Loot Crate for pennies on the dollar. People are practically giving them away. And you know, that's kind of the bitter irony from like bigger boxes like Loot Crate or Nerd Block. It's hard to give things value sometimes now because they're valuable and they're worth a certain amount, but so many thousands of people get this box and so many thousands of people don't want certain items, so they're pretty much giving them away. So the ironic part about it, even if they're exclusive and even if they're rare, as soon as they put it in the box, it kind of devalues these items because there's just too many of them. They flood the market by sending it to a bunch of people that may not necessarily want it, and then people are trying to get their money back, so they're selling it for like a tenth of the price. So just know that I'm always going to try and value it at what it would have cost originally. I take into consideration the resale market it getting lowered, but I still want to give the box the benefit of the doubt by putting that value in there. So I don't want to make it a strike against the box because a few people are selling it for cheaper. The values will change for if the price goes up. I take into consideration. So I'm trying to give the best value I can. I'm trying to give credit to the box for putting in nice items. So just know that you can find it cheaper, but I'm not going to put it at that value. That's how much it would cost at $20. So, that being said, on the low end, this box is about $48, and on the high, $55. So, no surprise here, Loot Crate gives really nice value. They put pretty decent quality stuff in here, so I'll flat out say it. It's definitely not as good as last month's box, but they're not going to be for a while. That was a really amazing box, and those only come around every so often. So, any month after an amazing month is always going to seem lackluster, but it definitely wasn't bad either. They kind of tried some new stuff, some interesting stuff, and they don't always hit home. Like the Apron, for example, it's very limited market. I can't see very many people like wanting or using it. But at least like the mug and the collectibles, even if you don't like them, it's something for everyone. So, and you got more than double your value on this. So I think that's pretty great. On a side note, people have been bringing up to me. I talked about the referral program for One Up Box and Super Geek Box. Technically, Loot Crate does have a very similar program where if you refer 4 people, you get a free box, but I've been trying to work that out with the company, and it just has not worked. So I'm going to keep you guys updated on what I hear from that, but I referred dozens of people, and they've signed up, and I have not seen a single dime in almost the year that I've been subscribed to this box. So in theory, they have a similar referral program, but I've yet to see it work. So that's, if anyone's wondering, that's why I haven't talked about it yet. So as soon as I do see that working in action, we'll see how that works out and we'll see how well the program does. Because if it takes 9 months for your credits to show up, then like what's the point? But anyway, with that value, I'm going to give this box a 7.25 out of 10 because you did get great value, much like you always do with Loot Crate. They're very good about giving really great value, at least double what you get. But like I said, some of the items in here weren't for everyone. They're cool, they're definitely good stuff, but I highly doubt that anyone's going to use the Apron, maybe a select few people, if they even recognized it. And the wood figure was cool, but it's not from like any well-known companies, and I doubt people are like going to see a good collectible value to that. The pin was great, it's awesome, but that's if you were like the movie. And the mug was cool too, but also if you like those 2 characters. So it's a little bit limited, but not much. So 7.25 is still a really good score. That's a great score just in general. And most of the boxes of August have been getting at least 7s. This has been a pretty great month so far. So definitely got a good score, but just nowhere near like what last month was. But that's to be expected with any box. They're going to have ups and downs. It happens. It's a regular thing. So anyway, let me know what you guys thought. Let me know if there's anyone out there who's in love with the apron and what you guys thought of the rest of the items. If everyone loved it, then maybe that'll boost up the score for the monthly review. So let me know what you guys thought. This has been Loot Crate, 7.25 out of 10. Let me know what you think. Love you all. Peace.